Poljot 41M, part 2 of 2. We're going to put in the remaining train here. If you look in that bore, we have a jewel which we lubricated from the other side. That's the one that we did before we put that wheel in there, that gear. So we're going to put in our balance. Yikes. What do you call that thing? That thing with the teeth? Escape wheel. Very good. This is going to drop in right on top. Okay. Our escape wheel moved a little bit. Let's get it. I don't think I'm lined up on the escape wheel. There we go. We are. And our next wheel is going to be the, what do we call this next one? Second-hand pinion. That's right. I'm going to put a little 90-10 on that second-hand pinion before we go in. And then that top bridge will sit right on top of that. Let's get in the shot. And that second-hand pinion driven right off of that escape wheel. So we want to make sure that's all engaged. Looks pretty good. Next comes our bridge. Let's make sure we're in the shot. Okay. Our balance wheel, sorry I'm not in the shot, our balance wheel is giving us a little bit of trouble. Let's see, not our balance wheel, what is that thing called? Escape wheel. Giving us a little bit of trouble. Those two are in. Let me come out of the shot here a little bit. Oh, we gotta come out. Let's come out. And these things take time. There's always going to be something that's, well, not always. Sometimes things just drop right in, no problem. This one today is giving me trouble, and working around the microscope doesn't make it any easier. Okay. It's being a mule. Perhaps we need to start over. This is the tedious part of watchmaking, servicing. You know, servicing. I'm not making anything. I'm making a mess. I like to line everything up, gently lay it on there. Sometimes you nail it and everything just falls into place. But for some reason, this one's fighting me. Yikes. And then all of a sudden, it fits. If I give that a little gentle nudge, you can see everything rotating. You can barely see it, but the staffs are coming through those jewels, and my light is changing. Oh boy. Alright. It's one of those days, people. I'm constantly changing my lighting situation. So that took a good 5 minutes, 20 seconds, just to get that bridge set on there. Such a cool looking movement, the way that top bridge sits up there, has everything stacked on. But that's just me. The Geneva stripes, everything about this little guy, I like it. Now if we give our stem a turn, everything spins beautifully. Now up to this point, let's get some lubrication on these guys. And while we're at it, we're going to do the balance jewels. So here we go with some 90-10 right here. Everything will be 90-10. Turn that over, and we can access the one that's over here under that wheel we did already. The escape pivot is right here. This will be the pallet fork and then the balance pallet fork. Okay, now let's give that a spin. Make sure everything's working. Let's get it in the shot. Look how nice that is. Very slick. I like when everything works slick. Okay. Next, we're going to put in the pallet fork. I'm going to put a little smear of, what do we have here? 941. This is a low beat rate movement. I'm out of the shot right now. I'm just putting a smear of 941 on those, the one side of the pallet fork stones. And then we'll lubricate our pivots when that's in. Okay, here's our pallet fork. Are we in focus? A little better. Here's our pallet fork. This is a pretty compact movement. Things are stacked in here kind of tight. Okay, there's our pallet fork. Pallet fork bridge. 2 pins, 1 screw. And it's kind of, you gotta sneak it in under there. Give it a little nudge. It seems to fall into place, but we have to test it. I'm going to pick this up and look at it with a loop. our pallet fork is. The staff is coming through those jewels. Our pallet fork is nice and straight. Here's our banking pins. Where's my pallet fork screw? That's not the right screw. Something tells me that screw does not belong there. What am I even trying to do? I just bumped it, didn't I? I think I lost a screw. Oh boy. Okay, that's not good. How did I lose a screw? It's not in there. Okay, I did something wrong. I am missing a screw. I thought I had everything accounted for, but apparently not. Yes, I know what I did. I know what I did. Here's what I did. And since these are similar threads, let's, yeah, here's a lesson. We're going to put that in just to hold it. It's not the proper screw, but it's the same thread pitch. Our screw ended up over here. That screw ended up there. That doesn't belong there. And since it's the same thread pitch, it doesn't matter. A lot of these are shared pitches, they just change a few things. The screw that I used for the other side was the balance cock. No big deal. Quick fix. Come around. Take this out. This is for our balance assembly. Look at that. Stuck right to it. Now let's put the proper screw in. I thought that screw looked funny up there the other way on those keyless works, but I didn't think about it. As you can see, this fits much better. Of course, you got to have clearance for everything. Let's wind this up a few clicks, and we're going to check the pallet fork. Just give it a nudge and it snaps back and forth. That's what we like. Now, let's give it a few more clicks. Back to the 90-10. We're going to put a bit pallet fork pivot. There we go. We're going to come around to the other side. That's right in here. I like to make sure it's on there. Now we're going to do the balance assembly. Jewel, we're going to do that bottom jewel now. Let's get it in the shot. There's our balance jewel on the lower side. We put a smear on that as well. Before we install our balance assembly, we need to lubricate that top stone. So here's what we do. I'm out of the shot right now. Basically, we have a piece of Rotico, and we're going to put that balance assembly upside down on that Rotico. So it, oh boy, don't do that. I'm having trouble manipulating my balance. Okay, come on. It was being a mule for some reason. Oh yeah, can I believe that happened? Alright, I got a small problem here. Bear with me while I fix a problem. Yikes. My hairspring got a little hung up. Alright, I know, dead air. We're back to normal. These balances can be a little feisty. They certainly can. So here's what we need to do. We need to plant that balance assembly in the Rotico. So it sticks to it. And then we're going to lift. Okay, hey, we're in the shot. Go figure. We're going to lift this assembly, or the balance wheel, come on, so we can gain access to the jewel. We're going to reach in between those coils and put some 90-10 on that jewel. Now, if you touch the coils, any of them, with your oiler, you are going to have a problem. It will not run properly. Those coils are going to stick together and you'll have a major problem with timing and everything else, running fast. Okay, I'm working around this microscope. I have the tweezers in my left hand, my oiler in my right, and I lift it just enough that I can get an oiler and put a smear of oil right on that jewel and drop this back down. I've done other ones where I had to take the balance assembly out and clean it in solvent because I did touch the spring and the coils stuck together, and it was a major timekeeping problem. So that's how we do that. Lubrication of that jewel. It's a lot easier when you have a balance assembly that has shock mounted jewels, because you just take them apart. Much easier. Okay, now we're going to set our assembly in here. Got to get it out of the rotico. You can see the impression that it made. Okay. Let's come back here. Let's get in the shot and drop in our balance assembly. If all goes well, it will start ticking. Of course, it wasn't in the shot completely. I had to get a little close to it, but I laid it in there, and just with a few clicks of the spring, it's starting to tick. I won't know until I fully wind it and look at those coils up close if I did any you know what, I'm not liking this screw. What's wrong with that screw? Sheesh. I may have another screw mix up. There we go. And I'm going to look closely here. Let's wind this up. That's ticking away nicely. I'm going to take a loop to it, check my coils. Hairspring coils are all concentric, nothing sticking together. And there you have it. Assembling the backside and putting the hands on, that's pretty straightforward stuff. I don't want to take too much time, but if I could, well, maybe I don't know. Maybe I'll make a part 3. I don't know. But there you go. Everything's working good. Maybe I'll make a part 3 on how this looks on the time grapher. How's that? So till then, I'll see you soon.